All right. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hutch's Homestead, which is made possible by the Most High, Yahweh, our Elohim. And today, I was planning on doing the brakes on the four-wheeler, like I talked about in the last video. However, I don't have a 30mm socket to take off the castle nut. I was looking into it, and I have like 1 1/4, because I have standard 1 1/4, which is slightly too big, and then the next one I have is a 1 1/8, which is too small, and I don't want to strip that nut. So, not going to do the brakes today. I got to get the correct socket. So, no go on the four-wheeler maintenance for today. So I'm going to pivot. I have I got a chainsaw, Chinese piece of junk that I took apart. Got a new oil pump for it, some new gaskets. I'm going to maybe just start doing some surgery on that thing. It was like $10 for both of the part, or 15 or 20 bucks for both parts. I think they were 10 bucks each. So I was like, for 20 bucks, if the thing works great. I bought that thing for like 110 bucks like 2 or 3 years ago. I just figured I'm gonna mess around with it. If it works, great. If not, no harm, no foul. Not much time wasted on it. But what I'm gonna do is go brush hog the west pasture. Now, I did film that before. However, I put the GoPro on my chest, which I thought was a great idea. However, I filmed the steering wheel 90% of the time. So I butchered that part of the video. But what I'm thinking about doing is, separately, I'll probably just put a compilation of a bunch of the other parts together, and maybe I'll just combine that all together in this video, depending on how far I get on that chainsaw. So that's pretty much it for today. I'm inside the shop. I got the doors closed because it's about 40 degrees. It's brisk. It was like 70 yesterday, or 68, 69 degrees, close to 70. It was 70 earlier in the week. And now we finally might have some real fall weather for only a couple days. It's supposed to be, below freezing at night, and then it's supposed to be back up in the 60s. So just hanging in the shop for a little bit. I'm hoping that it warms up a tiny bit more, and so I'm freezing too much on the brush hog. On the tractor while I'm doing that, cleaning up that pasture with all the briars and stuff. But yeah, I'm just gonna see what I get into. I'll start filming this, and then we'll just go from there. So just kind of an odds and ends day. I'll just see what I get into, and you guys can hang around and follow along. So let's get into it. All right, so quick intermission. I'm trying to remember how to put this whole thing together. I can't remember for the freaking life of me. So let's see. Okay, I think that this thing's got to go back in there, right? Maybe shop right for that. Gotta take better care of this stuff, so let's see. All right. Now this has teeth, so this thing has to sit in there somehow. Let's see. All right, that fits. Like that. Please, which way? Is there a way? That fits in there like that. Let's see. All right, we're good there. Then this has teeth. thing's still dripping the black oil. Hope it's just leftover from last time. All right. So real quick, let's check the fuel. They're bone dry. This one takes that 25-to-1 ratio. I'm not putting a lot in, just in case it doesn't work, because I don't have to empty out all the fuel. Let's check bar oil. Seems to be a little bit in there. I wonder if this is the bar oil filter, which I can try to pull it out and check it if it's still a little crappy. So let's give this thing a shot. Hey, we're gonna get it. Still heating up at the end. What is up with this thing? Yeah, it's getting hot down at the end there. I don't know if anybody I mean, it's moving free, right? Like I think that's hot. So maybe is there no bar oil coming out? Go outside with it. It's getting a little exhausty in here. That's not right. Oh, this thing's dripping black oil again. Oh, this thing's just leaking. Leaking. Oh, I'm not bringing this thing in right now. All right. Well, that's going to be it for that. All right. So, as you just saw, tried to run the chainsaw, and for whatever reason, it is still leaking oil, and the tip of the bar is getting extremely hot, causing the chain to become very hot, which is dangerous. It'll fail eventually. And so I'm probably just gonna give up on that thing. It was $100 $100 is a piece of junk. I might try to change, I don't know. I still have, so I'm torn. I could try to replace the bar oil line, but as you can see right here, I am wearing the GoPro because I'm gonna go brush hog because this thing was a piece of junk. I'm 0 for 2 so far today. Didn't have the right stuff for the four-wheeler. Couldn't get this stupid thing fixed all the way. So I'm gonna go start brush hogging. Just gonna drive and record, and we'll go from there. So that's what today is. It's just a piece together, random day. So not everything's going too smooth. So I'm gonna try to get this salvage something for today. So I'm gonna try to go make some progress, and I'll check back in a few minutes. All right. So I just got done for the day. I filmed a good amount of it. Didn't film everything, just because it's kind of impossible from where I'm at. I try to put it on my chest to show you guys a little bit. Sorry for hitting this thing. But just to show you a little bit more, I cleared out this whole section. Sorry for the glare coming through here. Did this whole section here and went through down over here. Let me drive around a little bit and I'll show you a little bit more of what I got into. If I can get this thing to start up. So let's go take a look. So I did this whole section over here a little bit. I cut through and cleaned up this stuff. This was cut through to where I cut before on the other side. And so over to this side here. And I made one little pass through right by those trees, but I did cut through more. And then I took those trees that were stacked over there before. So I cut through here to get closer to these trees. This is a little hard. Trying to steer at the ATV and do this, but so I need to get to these trees so I can trim these branches so I get the tractor, and these are really low. Look how, I mean, these are, they're drooping all down. So I really need to cut these about that height, pretty much anything about there, about there, and that way I can get the tractor in. Same thing on this one here, a couple of these, a couple of those, that I could get in. But I could cut it through a path right here so I could get in, because trying to stand in these briars are an absolute nightmare. I mean, my hands just get beat up from this stuff. I mean, my hands are just bleeding everywhere from it. So I was wearing gloves. But I forget. I leave them down in the shop and then I don't get them, and then it just takes forever to. Well, I'm lazy and then I don't get them, and then I complain about my hands being absolutely shredded. But yeah, so pretty much, I'll cut this off. But yeah, so pretty much just went down. I'll show you a little start of the burn pile. I'll start that up in a second. But yeah, just cut through some areas, just basically trying to cut some paths around, clear it out as good amount as I can. Then I'll cut the trees, cut the limbs, and then we'll continue clearing this out. But this is going to take 5 or 6, maybe not 5 or 6, let's say 3 passes. Not this time of the year, once it starts growing again, 3 passes to get all the briars and the sticker bushes and everything chopped up all the way, because now they just leave like these long, I don't even show you, but they leave like the long branches, and then like these, they're all sticking up. You might not be able to see them, but so they stick up, and what happens is that, you know, they're just turned into like a nightmare mess, because when you step on them, they stick up, they kick up, and they hit you and everything. So what I'm going to do is get this thing started. Come on. And then we'll go down to, there we go. Got it. I forgot to get started neutral. And we'll go down over here to the burn pile. Oh, but show you a little bit what we did here. And the brakes are not working. That's why I wanted to change the brakes today, but they're not working. So went through on this here, cleaned up some of that, torch and everything, and I brought those trees that I downed over there to there. I really wanted to get to these today, but I just didn't have enough time. But yeah, so I call that pretty much a good success for today. So appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I know I had a success, but I know I wasn't happy because I couldn't get the brakes done, or I couldn't get that chainsaw working, but I used the other one. It was a cheap Chinese junk. So not a big loss. But anyway, yeah, so I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.